Previously on building Benji's Gold Rush. For now, I'm just gonna have to copy all of these for as far as I can. Right now, it's just looking a bit weird, but that will be fine in a second. That has pretty much exactly the vibe I was aiming for. I love it. This makes zero sense, but just trust the process. It is looking pretty decent, not gonna lie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this brand new episode of Building Benji's Gold Rush. Today, I have literally no idea what I'm gonna do, so I guess let's just get straight into whatever. First thing I want to do is kind of map out the way the landscape is going to look, and then I mean mountains, hills, that sort of stuff. First off, I think right here, this is a good place for a pretty high point on the map, as I feel like we don't want to see too much of the outside world. I guess a good way of putting it is I want to make sure that if you sit inside the coaster, you don't see all of this, because that doesn't look very nice now, does it? I am just kind of making this look nice. I want there to be a few flatter areas like this one and this right here. It shouldn't just be one massive kind of mountain that goes straight up. That would be kind of lame. I want to have some room for tiny houses and huts and whatnot, so that's why I'm doing it this way. And maybe a bit of a mountain here as well. I don't even know, it's pretty random what I'm doing, but you know, so is nature, so okay, this is giving a pretty good idea of a landscape, and I think maybe if this, like this kind of chasm, this thing, I feel like it would be cool if that kind of reaches all the way here. So how about we go ahead and try and kind of see what that looks like. Say that goes all the way here, kind of. And then as it continues, it gets a bit thinner and thinner and skinnier and weirder, and then it just kind of disappears. Just like that, sort of. I mean, that is pretty cool, is it not? And this whole area needs to kind of be filled up as well, similarly to the other side. I think all in all, this is starting to look pretty good. Look at that. It finally actually gets shape, which is definitely a good thing, that's for sure. And then all the way over here, I thought it would be cool to have some sort of like that, where part of this mountain kind of hovers over the skeleton here. It seems pretty cool. Then also, to make this fit a little bit more naturally into these rocks, I'm just kind of behind it, as you can see, raising these rocks, making it so it's more leaning onto them instead of floating above them, which makes no sense whatsoever. Then I may as well also paint all of this rock already, since at the end it has to become rock. I kind of underestimated how much work this is. I've been doing this for quite a while now. Now, at some point, I think it's a good idea to determine where the trees are going to be, because we're gonna need wow, because we're going to need a bunch of trees, of course. So the stuff that needs to remain stone, I will now sort of paint with, well, stone. That's where we're gonna have some houses and some other stuff. And then the rest is where it's gonna be all green because of the trees. So let's see, this actually, I didn't plan this, but this is a pretty good tree line, I would say. Then maybe up here as well. I thought maybe we could make it snow, but that seems a bit too much. So instead, let's just go ahead and make it green. It seems a bit better and more realistic, because this mountain definitely is not as high as a snowy mountain is. Kind of like that. So now the green areas, this and this right here, is going to be trees. Then let's see, maybe we need some trees here as well. Just kind of like a nice bush of trees. And then here at the edge of this cliff, there are going to be a bunch of trees as well. I would say just the entire top part of this. And then maybe some more here as well. But first we need to make the structures holding this up. So I guess that's something for later. First, let's just focus on the left area right here. So let's go ahead and grab our first few trees. I'm just going to place these down right here, kind of random. And then we can go from there, I suppose. I will color them later. I will add the tiny ones on top later. First, I just really want to have a base of trees kind of chilling around right there. This is going to be a very compact kind of forest. There won't be anything in between. It's just going to be trees, because we have a file size to keep in mind. I wish it didn't exist, but sadly it does, and so we need to take that into consideration at least a little bit. Besides, that means we can add some more detail on other places, so let's just kind of keep this nice and basic. Besides, it doesn't look bad. Like, it's not like it looks bad. I'm whining about stuff that's not even really such a big deal. So well, now it's just placing down a lot of these trees, kind of random, rotating a few of them to make it look a bit more authentic, like that. Of course, after this, I'm also going to add the tiny one, so it's going to be quite nice and detailed with a bunch of variety, of course. That's what we like to see. And then right here, maybe we can have a tiny little bit of an open space with maybe some grass and some, I don't even know, something. And then we are back at the tiny trees, like I just said. This is even more work, because, well, we have a lot of ground to cover. whatever, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, we don't need to do the whole thing today. We can just do a little bit and then have the boys finish it for us, because that's the whole idea of this park. Nah, just kidding. I'm not that lazy. Well, I mean, I am, but this is looking like one hella cozy forest. It's pretty dense, which I kind of like. Like I said earlier, that's exactly what I'm aiming for. Of course, we're gonna add some variety in color as well. I mean, right now it looks a bit, you know, monotone, I would say, but we'll get to that later for sure.
Worry not, my mortal friends.
Okay, so I've done a bunch of trees, not everything yet, but a bunch. And right now I'm gonna focus on this tiny little area, because basically I want to show to you what this is going to be like on a small scale. So let me just go and add some rocks here, so this kind of fades out into the new landscape. And also just a little bit going up this hill right here, just a tad, not too much. I ain't gonna do all of that just yet. That's going to be for later, if I'm going to do it at all, because this is a ton of work. It's going to cost a ton of space, so who knows really. And now, as you may have guessed already, I'm going to add a bunch of these bushes as well to kind of fade the rocks out into nature. It sounds super weird, but I guess it makes sense if you think about it. Now right here I'm adding a bed of grass, because I feel like that would look nice, as if it's kind of cut off by these rocks here. Look, just like that, kind of a tiny grass field. However, I feel like that green color should be different from the rest. Maybe something like this, so it doesn't fade out too much into nothing, otherwise you don't see it whatsoever. Although this is a bit too intense, maybe like this. Yes, I like that. And then some of these kind of sitting here on the edges a little bit, like that. Beautiful. Then I'm gonna say it one last time, we are gonna have to add some color variety in these trees right here, so let me just do that right now. I'm gonna add some nice dark ones like this, and some of these tiny ones as well. Very, very nice. Yeah, this helps a ton. Look at that. Instantly a lot better for sure. And then some of them should be this lighter color. Just a few. This should really be like the exception. There you go. Instantly a ton better for sure. Then I'm extending this grass kind of idea a bit further down this way, and hopefully maybe we could kind of connect it with the lake. Wouldn't that be nice? I guess we can just try. Now this right here looks a bit blocky, so I'm gonna try making that smoother by just adding some of these manually right here. So just like this, we can add a nice shoreline. There you go. See, that is starting to look pretty good. And then we can finish it off with one of these, paint that, and there you go. That is looking pretty smooth. Of course, we're gonna add a bunch of detail to that, but first, let's see. Now, something I kind of forgot throughout this whole area is at the beginning we had this different tint of rock, and so I think it's a good idea to add that here as well to make this just look a bit different from the rest here and there, adding some variety to it that looks, see, instantly. I extended the grass field a little bit, and right here I'm gonna add a bit of a rock that sort of comes out of nowhere. I don't know why, it just seems nice to have here. It just looks nice, let me be. And all this stuff so far has made me quite thirsty. Pretty sure I need a drink. Very nice. Now let's see, what else can we add? Now, to make this landscape look a bit more rounded and random, I'm going to add some of these trees in the ground like we used to do for Benny's movie park. That always worked pretty well, so let's just go ahead and do something like that again. This creates some of these nice bumps in the landscape, which I think looks okay. Call it lazy, call it smart, I don't know what you want to call it. It is really just a load of bushes, isn't it? Just bushes and rocks. Rocks and bushes. So much fun playing this game, you won't even believe it. We may as well put a little tree and some bushes on these as well. Why not? Makes sense. There you go. Looks beautiful. And right here, I think it would be a very fun idea to make a tiny little hut or tent. No, hut. That's just kind of sitting here. Very simple. I mean, like, actually very simple. Just like this, with a bunch of these kind of... yeah, well, exactly like this. And we're just gonna make sure they extend all the way into the ground, and we're all set. That's how easy it is to make a hut. We can, of course, also add some of these random ones to make it a bit more... yeah, well, random. I keep spoiling what I'm gonna say like 1 second later. I gotta stop that. Then in there we can put a tiny little carpet sort of thing. Just like a blanket kind of laying on the ground there. Just like so. Very cute. And then right in front of that, of course, we cannot miss this. A campfire. Look at that. Isn't that just so cozy? And then here there's a tiny pile of wooden sticks that this guy, whoever was or is here, can use to keep the fire going. Just like that. That is very nice. I love it. And the last finishing touch, an axe kind of laying there as if this person just cut that wood, so it just makes total sense. This makes complete and utter sense. And then of course, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we can add stuff like wooden logs and other details that just really spice this up. Also, I totally forgot these exist, so we can add some nice twig effects using that. See, that's beautiful. Let's kind of spread these all over the place as well, adding even more detail to the whole thing. Gorgeous. And I guess to kind of finish off this tiny area we've got going on, I may as well fix this tiny corner here to make sure that also looks nice and clean. There you go. And as you can see, this is looking decent. Then we can put a big mama pile of wood right frickin' here. Seems like a fantastic idea. With an axe kind of leaning against it. There you go. And a bunch of these tree stumps as well to indicate the idea that these were trees before, like full-grown trees. I mean, obviously they were trees before. Bloody hell. But that there was a bunch of trees standing here that are now cut down. Genius. What if we make the same kind of grass field right on top of this? Kind of behind these houses here. I feel like that would make sense. Otherwise, it's just this area that's green, which would look a bit weird. Kind of like that. And then I need to fill this up nicely with rocks so it connects pretty naturally. Just a bunch of rocks. Again, nothing new. We've seen this. I'm curious how many times we've seen this. But then again, we come back to the mystery question. How many rocks have I placed in total? I want to know. I actually want to know. And some more bushes right here as well. We cannot have enough bushes. And well, guys, I think with that, we have done a ton of progress in one day. This is pretty insane, I would say, for one person. I'm very happy with the results so far. It looks freaking epic. I can't wait to see where this goes. But I guess we'll see in the next live stream on Thursday. Be sure to tune in. And then now, I guess that's it for today. If you like this video, make very sure to leave a like, subscribe, become a member if you want to, and or buy the hoodie we made, Benny's Gold Rush. As you can see, it's very epic. Looks beautiful. But yeah, then I hope I'll see you in the next episode of Building Benny's Gold Rush.